Good morning everyone, welcome to my channel. Okay, video number 5 in the series about completing a Stitchery journal to hold all of my tags from the Anne Brooks program that I did year before. So these tags that are left that didn't go into the actual journal itself are needing a home and are going to be added to a page within the journal that I've left ready to fill with, you know, the spare tags. I think there was 4 or 5. There's 5 left over. One I've put on the spine already. So I'm creating a stitchery around one of my favorite tags. So I've got 4 left to do. So video number 4 was the completion of the spine, where I used one of the tags here, and it's now glued into position. I've put some stitching as well in here to attach it to the actual spine, so it is now secure and done. So what I wanted to do is just turn on the video because I'm starting to think about the remaining 4 tags. And I just thought I'd show you my process that I go through. I'm not quite ready to stitch them yet. This is just about putting together elements that I think will go with it. I'm not even to the point of threads. I'm just gathering treasures that I think complement the tag, and I'm going to place them in a plastic envelope ready so that if I want to grab the piece and go somewhere, I can sit and stitch. So this is where I'm at so far. This tag here was a very neutral tag, and it was pretty much a bunch of flowers. I can't remember the prompt. What was it? Buttons. Okay, so it was buttons. Now what I've done is I've cut a piece of calico, I've ripped it to size, ready for my journal, and I just pinned that tag on that piece of calico. Now what I've done this morning is I've just started gathering bits and pieces that I think complement it. Now being that it's a bunch of flowers, I have all these pre-made little rosettes that I've got in my stash. So I've got those, and then underneath I want to put, I've even got, this was a piece of happy mail that someone made. I've never found a home for it, so that I think goes with the tulle chiffony sort of look of those flowers on the tag. So I've added that to my pile. Now I've also, underneath here, these are pieces of very old crocheting from my family, and I think I'm going to add them as my background. So like I did with the pages underneath all my tags, I put lots of doily snippets. Well, I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to lay down, like this is a piece of tatting that my grandmother made. I don't know who in the family made this, but I've got this little element here. This is the last of a beautiful old collar. I've used that in a few pieces already. Like my owl has that in it. So that's the last little piece. And then this gorgeous little doily that a grandmother made on my dad's side of the family. So these are all just beautiful little pieces that I won't ever cut up, but I need a spot where they can sit comfortably in a journal forever, basically. So I'm going to use them on this tag as my background. So all I'm doing is just putting them together in some random fashion, just as a background, and my tag is sitting there as ready as well. I'm not, like I said, I'm not ready to stitch. This is just a combination of bits and pieces that I think will work. And this tag, I'm thinking, because it's a bunch of flowers, we're going to have this big floral treatment along the side. I even found these little guys. They match as well. So everything is now going to go into this plastic envelope, ready for when I want to pick it up and stitch. And if, you know, if I find something else in my travels that I think, oh, that would go with that tag, I'm just going to pop it into the envelope as well. And then, like I said, if I'm heading out for a weekend or going to a friend's place for dinner and the girls are sitting around stitching, all I'd need to add here is my needle book and any threads that I think I might use for this piece. So this is sort of my system. I've had a few people ask me how I go about planning my pieces. So this video is going to be about the planning of future pieces of slow stitch for my big journal. Okay, so I'll just pop this one to one side because I've got the other 4 underneath. Some have a bit more planning in them, some have a little less. So this tag is, there's a little thread, let me just trim that off of there. This little tag, the theme was bullion stitch. Okay, bright, colourful floral garden. So I've just found a doily, another piece. This one's not my family. This one I found at an op shop and it's just so beautiful. Look at that. Just gorgeous. Someone has spent so much time on that, and I don't even think I'm going to cut it up because I want to see it in its entirety. So I need to somehow reduce it in size to fit my journal. So there'll be some tucks and some little pinned in bits, but I'm going to literally crumple it, if that's a word. So it's even got a hole in it, so it's been out and used. I just love it. So I'm going to crumple this piece. I'm going to bury and nestle my piece somehow in there. This is like, no idea how I'm going to do this, but this is the rough idea. So that is going to be a page within my journal. How much more stitching I do to it, I don't know. I'm honestly, I don't think I will. I think my stitching is going to be the crumpling, the getting it down so that it's like this mushed up, beautiful piece of lusciousness. Is that descriptive enough for you? I just think, I couldn't believe it when I found it. I was like, oh my goodness, this is now at an op shop. I have to give it a home. So this is going to be another page in my Stitchery journal. So there's my piece of calico, my base, which I know is the right size for the journal. And of course, the little tag that was left over, one of my favorites. Look, I could even do a half piece. Oh, I don't want to cut it. I want to somehow get that whole doily into the panel. So that one's going to be a lot of fun. I want to squish it all up and stitch it down, and yeah, little elements and maybe some buttons in around where I maybe squish the fabric up and tack it down. I might put a button. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. So to this, I might throw in some colourful buttons. So just to remind me of this thought I'm having right now. Now, my journal has got room for some chunky pieces. So when I lift this page up into the air, there's a good inch of space there. Can you see that space? It's very hard on a camera. If I get the spine nice and straight, there's an inch easily of space there. So having this as quite a chunky piece to go in is going to more than fit. And I've learnt my lesson that I make my spines bigger than what I think I need, because I always think of something else I want to add, or I can then stitch in some other pages that I hadn't planned for. So another little hot tip, make your spines bigger than you think, because there's nothing worse than getting, you know, some great ideas and you just don't have the room because your book is starting to become an alligator and it's just not going to sit nice and plumb on your shelf. And it's starting to sort of, you know, bust open. That's all beautiful and looks amazing, but you're putting pressure on your spine where your signatures are stitched in. So if you think you need 2 inches for a spine, do 2.5. Just gives you wriggle room. Okay, so that one is ready to go on the envelope. I will throw in some buttons, or I might even write a little note. I'm just looking for some paper because I'm going to write that right now, because you know, I will forget. So I'm just popping a little piece of paper here, and I'm just going to write smoosh up, add buttons. That's all I need, because just in case I don't get back to this for a month or two, it's in there. And if I find any really cool bright buttons, I got somewhere to throw them, because one day they will be with this piece, one day very soon. So I'll pop that to one side. Okay, this one is my bunny tag. Now the program was 52 tags, but I actually made 53. It was around the time I was stitching some slow stitch bunnies, prepping for some Easter gifts, and I created a PDF file in my Etsy store of those bunnies, different styles of bunnies. One's a running jackrabbit look, and then this little fellow in 4 different sizes. So I made a tag for a lady that bought the pattern. She is from Geelong, and they started a slow stitch group in this lifestyle village. So the girls get together, they do a bit of op shopping and then do some stitching. So this is like tag number 53. So he needs a home. Now this little one is similar in the way of florals and buttons, but very soft muted tones, very peachy. So I found this piece of fabric, which I thought matched beautifully, and I haven't done anything with these peachy sort of tones. Then I found this doily, which also is what's a runner, has those tones that match what I did with this little bit of sari silk as my flower. So what I'm going to do is use this as part of my background with that to create this panel. So let me just turn that around. I've got my calico underneath. I'm ready to go, and starting like the others to put together nearly a storyboard of what I'm sort of thinking. So that's that piece. I just love that embroidery. This is machine made. This is not hand done. I would say, yeah, no, this is a machine has done this, like a huge sewing machine, industrial sewing machine. So this one I'm going to chop up and use all these little elements to build up a brand new piece with a hint of this fabric as well. And then my bunny will be nestled in the middle of it all. So let me grab my plastic page saver. Okay, now this one here, this one I think is going to be my next piece that I'm going to work on. It's also the prompt for the Roxy Journal of Stitchery for May is birds. So I thought straight away I've got this little tag with the bird in a nest. Now the theme for this tag was threads. So they were stitching random threads from Slow Stitch onto tags in different designs. And I decided to make a little nest, and then using an image, which I think is from Artie Mays. I'm not 100% sure of that, but I've used that as my background. So it's just a paper image, and then a little snippet of crocheting at the top. And then in there is the little bird with his little nest. So my plan with this is to create a tree for the little tag to sit in. So using some of the olives, I've had this pack of fabric, I'll just grab it, in my stash that I just love the colours. Now the sticker on it said folk tale. So I'm not 100% sure of the design name of it. I went through and looked at all the selvages, and there's no name there. But the brand of Folktale would be probably the design house that created it. So if you typed into Google Folktale, and it might pop up. I'm just not 100% sure. I wish I had more details for you. Maybe someone in the comments might recognize it and have the name of it on some fabric from their stash. So just who knows, someone might solve that little mystery. I wish I could give you more information. So this little pack of fabric is the inspiration for my bird. So let me just pop that out of the way. So the plan is I've just torn some elements from the pack, and just plop them down. And I'm pretty happy with that layout. I wanted something a little bit plain over this side so that my bird tag would be obvious, but not totally obvious. You know, he's nestled in a tree. Then down the bottom here, I'm going to embroider all of these flowers. So I think I've got two that are really big. This one might creep up a little bit into here, but I'm not 100% sure, but I definitely will be embroidering those two. That one may get covered. I've got some leaves here I can embroider, and I've got some gorgeous white flowers. So that is going to be heavily embroidered. I then want to create a tree. So there'll be a big branch here with little branches, hence this twine that I'm going to use, this burlap. Now, it's a burlap trim. For those in Australia, the brand is Portercraft. You'll find it in all of the $2 cheap stores. There's heaps of it out there at the moment, different styles of burlap. And there's some more there. So this one's a nice wide one. How wide is that? Does it say? No, it doesn't. And do I have a ruler nearby? Can't read it, not enough light. So it's 1.5 inches. So I've cut off a piece of that, and it's just going to be, at the moment, straight through. I might kink it a bit as I stitch down, just to give it a bit of more of a natural feel. Then I'll just sit my tag there, and I'm going to create some additional branches. Now I've got two burlaps here, two different thicknesses. So I might use this guy as the first branch because he's a little bit thicker. And then I've got the little one which could come off in another direction. So then the bird is sitting, his nest is sitting in the fork of that tree, is my theory at the moment. I then want to add this gorgeous little doily snippet because I've got doily on the tags. I sort of want to drag doily out into the project. So I'm thinking on this side here, I was going to place that. What else? Let me just get a bit of this out of the way so we can sort of see. There'd be a branch going up there, or even a branch coming down there, but there'll definitely be some additional twiggier branches going through the three sizes of the binding. The other piece I've got is this gorgeous little snippet of lace that is left over from a doily as well. So I thought about adding that there just to sort of soften the branches. I don't want these direct sharp lines. And then I've got this little piece here, and that might just tuck in here somewhere just to create a little bit of, I guess, an extension to the tag and the nest. And there might be other little elements I add too. You sort of don't really know until you start playing with it. So this is going to be my next piece I work on, purely because the journal of stitchery for the month is birds. I've got my owl on the go. I've got this little one I can do, and I've finished my Jessie Chorley panel. The videos will roll for the next few weeks. Every Friday they come out, but that's now freed up a lot more time in my month of May. So I'm thinking I'm going to do a little bit more of the bird theme that the girls are doing over at Roxy Creations, Rachel and Sarah, because birds are just the best to stitch. So I have a feeling there'll be quite a few panels come from the bird theme. The and favourite colour, well, oh goodness, I love all colours. So I'm not going to pick a favourite colour. I'm just going to birds, and just try and keep the colours uniformed, like I've done here with the olives, the creams and the burlaps. And my owl is in the pinks and things like that. I'm just actually going to hop up and grab my owl. I haven't done a lot more on it, but I'll just show you where I'm at with that. One moment. There'll be a video, I'm sure, posted by the time this comes to air. But this is my little owl so far. I'm now to the stage of actually embroidering the owl. So the month of May is going to be birds, 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 lots and lots of birds. So this little owl, even though he's not connected to this book, he'll go into my Stitchery Journal of Stitchery. He also will be given an envelope so that his bits are together and ready to be picked up and go into the lounge room or over to a friend's place for a roast dinner where we all sit around and stitch and gossip. Lovely, lovely. Okay, so the last envelope will be for this one. So I hope that gives you a bit of a snapshot of how I plan a piece. I think this is one of the best stages. You know, even if I take 2 weeks to think about this, doesn't matter. It's all about what I've got in my craft room that matches that. I've got a bucket of bits and pieces that I've always got on my desk. There's little elements in there that are left from my Jessie Chorley panel. So this is like my yummy basket of, you know, treasures that could be like that there, that colour. Here we go. Now I'm off on another tangent. That colour will work beautifully with that piece. Okay, it could even work. Now I'm just leaning behind myself to grab this one. So it could work with that. So I'm going to, where's my scissors? Got to. While I'm at it, I'm going to cut this piece in half like so. I'm going to put a piece with that one and a piece with that one. So they are all together. Look, I found these little flowers just fell out of that box of tricks. So bring this one back, and they work in there, or do they work better over here? No, they work better here. So they're now in there. So you can see my system. I don't know if it's a system, but it is a lot of fun just pulling these elements together to create something in the future. Okay, I will leave you in peace. I've been rattling along here, yibby yabbering about all of this, but I thought I'll just turn the video on and just show you sort of how my collections come together to become projects in the future. Okay, everyone, I will see you all soon. Happy stitching, stay safe, and go and play in your craft rooms. Thank you. Bye.